Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to our movie class. Today we'll speak about movie. Title is Death Note. It's pretty old movie, 1006, and it's pretty strange for my taste. So let's start from that. And it's kind of what's the word for that? Summarization of some longer story, right?
I think so. I'm not. I mean, there's sequels to it that it goes beyond one movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the manga, like you say, is a series. I think an animated series based on it. So I think the manga came first, and I think the movie came second.
Okay. So let's start from the definitions. What is manga? Vasants, can you help us?
Yes, it is Japanese version of comic books and graphic novel. So it is called as manga.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so and it's popular in Japanese culture, I think, right? Seems so.
Yes.
But we don't have this. I know that Americans have this comic strips. Is it right word? Actually, comic strips.
Comic strips are in the newspaper. Cartoon series, we just call them animated series or cartoons.
Mm-hmm.
But we do have graphic novels. We used to call them comic books, but now they cost a lot more money and they're fancy, so we call them graphic novels.
Oh, okay.
But they're still comic books.
And I can remember from one series from the show The Big Bang that they have a shop of comic books. Is it true? Can you? It exists in real life? Wow,
they're almost obsolete, but the aficionados can still find places that sell them.
Okay, but what do you think? Is it this manga is inspired by American culture, or it's like authentic Japanese thing?
Yeah, I think it's authentic Japanese. I mean, we had comic books first, so I think they copied our comic books and created manga. But their manga stories and manga characters are all uniquely Japanese, like Godzilla.
So I have to admit, I know too few about Japanese culture. So it's I don't know why. So the movie is interesting but kind of strange. So let's describe the story. What is happening in the story? Do we have a volunteer to start? Sergey, have you chance to watch a video?
Yeah, okay.
Can you start just about story? What is happening in this movie?
Okay, I read the story about Death Note about the young man who decide to kill the criminals elements around the world. And the strangest story because I don't understand how works this Death Note and where from this note comes to this man.
Mm-hmm. But we have answers from the movie. It was some monster, some death monster. I don't know. It's something special. It's but is it well known monster or not? What sounds? You look like an expert today. Let me ask you.
Yeah. Are you asking about the monster?
Yeah. Do you know something about?
Yeah. Yes, he is the god of death, and he is living up in the how do you call it in the heavens or something, in the hell or something. So they keep a record of people who have to death and how. So they maintain a record on the note. So the Shinigami, the death of God, dropped one note, and that is what the protagonist found on the street in this movie.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so they have some monster, some kind of, I don't know, death monster, some kind of angel, or I don't know what's the name for that. Satana that has this magic note, and if you write a name, if you can imagine the image of your enemy, You can not only kill it, him or her. You can, manipulate. You can write your own story, right?
Right.
And it's important for the story.
Now, let me add one more thing before we continue on.
Please.
Before he found the book, let me explain why he found the book.
Okay, please.
He was a law student in college. Remember, he and his girlfriend were law students, and he was watching the news all the time, seeing all these criminals get away free. So he got disillusioned. He said the legal system doesn't work. The criminals always get away. So that one night when it was raining, he looked at his law book, his student textbook, and he threw it down in the trash. So the god of death demon was watching this, and he said, "Oh, this guy's disgusted with the legal system. He wants justice." So he decided to drop the book from the heavens and let this disillusioned law student find it, because he figured he'd probably do something with it like he did. So that's why he was chosen to find the book.
So he was disappointed in the current judge system, right?
Right.
And he was a good goal to give him a power, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, Sergey, please be muted when you don't speak, because we have noise from your side. Sergey?
Repeat, please.
Please be muted when you don't speak, because we have noise from your background. Do you know you have a mic icon on the toolbox?
Okay.
So just press it. Okay, so we have a law student disappointed in current judge tribunal system. What's the name for that? Justice system, right?
Yeah, justice system's good.
Justice system, yeah. He's disappointed totally. He can see how all these criminals can avoid any punishment or get just a light punishment, and he decided, and he got this book, right, from this demon or from this angel. I don't know what's the name. Demon Shinigami, right? Is his name. And I don't know, is it Shinigami just a like common cultural thing, or invented just for this movie? What do you think?
I don't know. In the movie, the demon gave his name as Ryuk or Ryuk. So the word Shinigami, I don't think was mentioned in the movie, but it may be a Japanese cultural thing.
Okay, it's a pity.
Because they have a lot of those. Yeah, they have a lot of strange cultural things.
Yeah, it's a pity that we don't have anyone from Japan. It's our fault.
Yeah.
So what happened next? Gerard, can you continue?
Actually, I watched the Netflix version.
Okay, it's different.
Okay, maybe it's different. I don't know. I think it's similar. So the protagonist, has the book and kill people by writing down the name, but also by doing so, you can add some information the way people are killed, and you can change history. You can trick a little bit, because it's not just by the way the people kill, because you can write down with the condition, if you do something happened before, and then these people will be killed.
Yeah, and it's very interesting part. I started to think why he did not write something like, after I won in lottery $1 million, this guy went there.
Yes.
Good point. The lottery winner will come to my house, give me his money, and walk out into the street and get hit by a car. Yeah.
Okay, so he started to kill these crime people, right? But he did not stop. He did not limit himself to only crime people. He started to settle down his own life, right? He started to help himself. If he does not like someone, if he did not like someone, he did not hesitate to make this condemn. And the society started to be worried about this, and it became to be a detective story, like a battle between two centers, right, between him and the investigation team. Vasants, can you tell us about this detective?
Yeah. You mean Yell, right?
L.
Yeah.
Yeah.
L and all this team, all this Japanese police, FBI.
Yeah. The Japanese police. Yeah. The Japanese police team could not identify who is causing those deaths. So they were desperate, and one old guy appeared, and he said he was the representative of the man called Yell, and the Yell was communicating with them with a laptop without showing his face, just by voice, because he somehow suspected that the killer can kill people without even interacting with them, without even in the presence of their in their circumstances. So he decided to let his representative spoke to the police department, and he was deriving the reasons, the causes of the crime, and he made a very good point, and finally somehow the police team got a meeting with him in a luxurious apartment.
So in general, society is very worried about that, right? They started to investigate this case. Police and some special agency. I don't know. Is Detective L from the police? Looks like no. Looks like it's something special, right?
In the manga, my son is deep into manga, so he tells me that there is I guess a secret organization of police that create these master detectives.
I see.
So L's a member of this group. He's been trained from birth to be a master detective, and they just, I guess, stay in the background until something like this happens and their particular skills are needed, and then they make themselves known.
Okay.
I can help you solve this crime.
So some secret service, some superhero, right?
Right, kind of like that.
Mr. Incredible. Gerard, please?
Yep.
You know what strikes me is that coincidentally, by coincidence, that L doesn't have a name. So that's very convenient, because to be killed, the guy who holds the book needs a name, and even L doesn't know that. In the American version, L is an orphan that then his name he doesn't know his name. So what a coincidence, because it's not that it's like being done on purpose.
Yes, I agree. This demand of knowing the name is pretty strange.
Plus, he never shows his face. He's just a computer voice.
Yeah. Vasants, please.
Yes, in the animation series, the man Yell was a fellow student with Kira. So they studied in the same class. So they at one point they received appreciation from the college for topping the class. They were first and second places. So so it makes sense. So they both have high IQs, and even you might have noticed that they they chose the same flavor of the chips. So
yeah,
it makes sense.
Another coincidence, and good coincidence for the movie story, is that the father of the of the Kira was somehow boss of the police. I don't know what kind of boss, but looks very important. So it's interesting, yeah. So this guy Kira was chosen by many reasons from this demon, right? Because it's very interesting game between his father and himself and Kira, and it's very interesting. So what we know else? Yes, plot twists. let's describe a few. Right? We have a girlfriend. What else we have? We have some Federal Bureau investigation, right? Agents.
FBI, yeah.
And I wonder if that is the same FBI as Americans, right?
Yes, it was an American agency.
Kind of strange.
Working on the same case because it was a worldwide concern.
Okay.
He was killing criminals not just in Japan, but all over the world. And they're going, how can he kill people all over the world in the same day?
Yeah.
Does he have helpers? Are there like 80 of him?
So do we have a volunteer to describe these twists, plot twists, or something else? Sergey, would you like to continue, maybe? We just finished at the... Let's decide that we finished at the point when we started to know about this L detective, about this super secret service, and policies despair, they cannot continue, so they now follow L descriptions. Not descriptions, prescriptions, right?
There's a couple points that are worth discussing. Is how did L determine how Kira was killing people? How did he? What test did he use to discover how easily Kira could kill? And what information did he need to do this? And then another issue or item you might want to discuss is what made Kira turn bad? What made him go from killing criminals to killing the good guys? What happened to make that? What caused that? So those are interesting.
Yeah, the second one looks kind of easy, right? So that guy was a good guy, right? We know that from the movie. He just wonder why all these criminals have not punished enough. So he was a good guy who wanted to punish bad guys. But he started to kill policemen, FBI agents, and so on. Why? What's that?
Yes, because when he started to kill the criminals, and there were a lot of supports from the people, from the public. So then he started to feel like a god, and he is the justice. So he felt like that way. So once the FBI agents interrupted him when they blocked his way, then he got he got angry and he decided to kill them all in order to continue his justice. Right?
Yeah, so it's kind of usual problem, if you like a god can decide who will live, who will not, you attempt to improve your own life, right? You think about I'm doing that for a better good, right? For a bigger good. So yes, the innocent guy will dead, but I will keep my power and I can help society more. So it's pretty obvious. Yes, and think about names. Why we need to, why is this death angel? Why this death notebook? This death note need to know names of the victim. Strange thing. Especially strange thing, I was wondering, it was a surprise for me, because this guy sitting there in his room and watching TV. And on TV they say something like, I don't know, Sakura Kuraki. Okay, now you have to write that, in right way with all these hieroglyphs. It looks like a very complicated task for me. Gerard, please.
When I watch the movie, there is a name, the first name and the second name. But there are many people that have the two names the same,
Yeah.
In Spain, we have two family names, and it's more difficult if you don't have a common family name. I don't think there's another guy that it's called like me and my two second family names. But it's very easy to repeat the name.
In the movies, they have a special restriction for that. You have to imagine the face of your victim. Without that, it doesn't work. So you not only saying that it's Paolo Martino, you have to imagine,
Which one it is? Yeah.
Yeah.
Which one you're thinking of?
Imagine you write John Smith.
Yeah, but you have to imagine, face of
Hmm.
exactly John Smith, which you
Like,
which
you need the
point to.
picture, at least the picture.
Yeah,
Okay.
you need a photo. That's why that's why this guy can't use radio. He used TV shows, TV news, not the radio.
Hmm.
Yeah. He just sees their face, sees their name, they're drop dead.
Vasans, please comment question.
Yeah, I think the name and the face are the unique characteristics that can be written on the death note. You cannot get their thumbprint or their retina because they are also the unique characteristics, but it cannot be written down on the notebook. So I think it's pretty simple and acceptable to write on the notebook. So it makes sense. The name is very easy.
Yes, I would say it's identifier, but I don't know where to put stress. Teacherly, identifier,
Identifier.
yeah. But
Identifier.
identifier. Yes. But what is strange for me, but why you need names? If you can imagine, exactly the guy, exactly his face, why you need name for that? You already know.
Well, yeah, but the book works by writing the name in the book.
Yeah, so
you can't speak the name. It doesn't have a microphone, so
so you cannot write like this guy, right?
right. Draw his picture in the book. Yeah. Then you got to be an artist.
Right. Vasans, please.
Yes, I like that part when he decided to sacrifice his own girlfriend. He never mentioned his own name. He just mentioned that the girlfriend's, her boyfriend, he will come there and try to rescue her. So she will try to save her boyfriend. So he never mentioned his name because if he mentioned that, he would be die of a heart attack too. So it was a clever move, I think.
Mm-hmm. And this is interesting detective story inside another detective story about this trick, or how we call it. I mean, this thing this trap, what he did with these two girls, after he killed FBI agent, he have to find a way to escape this investigation. But the girlfriend of FBI agent, already identified him. So he did some trap for her in library, or what is that, pool, I forgot, swimming pool.
A museum or something, yeah. Art gallery, I think. There were pictures on the wall.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Don't know why I saw that it's swimming pool. Yeah. Funny. So, Sergey, can you describe it? What was the trap? What was the trick?
What is the trick? I don't know.
How did he sacrifice his girlfriend? What was his plan? How did he kill his girlfriend?
Unfortunately, I don't understand what's the trick and this between the girl and the girlfriend.
Okay. It's fine. It's let's Gerard, maybe you remember.
No, I think it's different.
Different version. Okay.
Okay, it's complicated. Let me give you the bullet points.
Please.
He was killing criminals all over the world, which half the world thought he was a hero and half the world thought he was a criminal, taking the law into his own hands, what we call a vigilante. Okay, vigilante. Yep, vigilante. Okay. So the FBI in America, because people were dying all over the world, even in America, it became an FBI case also. So the FBI secretly sent FBI agents to Japan to start following people. And one of them was following Kira, and he found out, and he devised this plan to get on a bus and he knew the FBI guy would follow him. So then he wrote in the book, some bum would come on the bus and try to hijack the bus. And he wrote in the book that the FBI agent would show him his name and pick his name. So once he got the FBI agent's name and he knew his face, now he can control the FBI agent. So he used the FBI agent whose name was Ray. So he used that guy, and he wrote in the book that that guy would come on a train and pick the manila envelope and write down the names of all the FBI agents. And even though Kira didn't see their faces, the FBI agent saw their faces on the laptop. So Kira, the FBI agent, saw their pictures, so he knew their faces, and he wrote their names in on the paper, which was a page from the Death Note book. So when he wrote their names on the Death Note book in certain squares, and he knew their faces, that activated their deaths. Under the piece of paper, the paper had holes in it, so when he wrote their names, underneath that paper, there was a story about how that agent would die. So he used that FBI agent to kill all the other FBI agents all at the same time. So they wouldn't know he was the guilty guy. If he only killed his guy, they would know he was Kira. So he had to kill all the FBI agents at the same time. So that's why he began killing good people, because they were following him and he didn't want to be discovered. So the FBI agent that he killed, when the FBI guy got off the train, he died immediately. Well, his wife, his fiance, was that girl. So she ran over to him and was angry that Kira somehow killed her fiance. So she used to work for L. So she devised her own plan to trap Kira. So she called L and said, I'm going to help you catch Kira. I'm going to sacrifice myself to catch Kira. But what she didn't know was that Kira was watching from the security camera, and he saw her and saw her face and knew that she was related to the guy that he just killed. So he wrote in the book that she would capture his girlfriend and hold her hostage and meet him at this art gallery and threaten to and try to make him confess. So he wrote all of that plot ahead of time. And he wrote that his girlfriend would try to run and she would die by a bullet. And he wrote that the other woman, the FBI agent's fiance, would shoot a bullet. And because it was the only gun in the area, the bullet that she shot had to be the same bullet that hit his girlfriend. So he wrote that whole plot in advance.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, very
amazing. Yeah.
he was doing forecasts very good, right? Predictions very good. he predicted that he will be under surveillance from this L detective and prepared some signals. How to explain this? It's a graphite, right? Graphite steam from the pencil. No, teacher Lee. It's the thing that he put into door, into
Oh yeah, little pencil leads.
pencil leads. Okay.
Pencil leads for a mechanical pencil.
Yeah. So when you open the door, it's very fragile.
Fragile. Uh-huh.
Fragile, very, very fragile, and you break it, and you can see that. But in the same time, it doesn't look very suspicious, right? Just a trash. Yeah. So he predicted all these things and developed a plan how to trade this. And I like it, the part with this big pack of chips, potato chips or something.
Potato
Do you remember?
chips.
Yeah, potato chips. Gerard, do you remember this trick?
No,
No?
it wasn't in the American movie.
Ah, okay. Vasans,
The
can you
American
explain?
movie wasn't very good.
Vasans, can you explain us trick with potato chips bag?
Oh yeah. Once the Yell suspected Kira, he decided to place cameras inside his room. So he was under surveillance, and he could not kill anybody by watching the news and writing their names on the death note. So he decided to place a small sized TV inside the chip packet, and he brought that to his room, and he was pretending to be like completing his homework, but on the left hand he was watching the news from the small TV inside the chips, and he also placed a small piece of paper from the death note inside the uh, chips box, chips pack, and he was writing with his left hand when he saw the criminal's name. So when the Yell and all the other police were seeing him on the camera, they couldn't suspect him for writing anything unusual on his notebook.
Yeah,
It
right.
was
So
pretty-
they saw a new deaths happening and new criminals, but they saw the guy and saw that he just doing his homework. So out of out of any suspicions, right? He's
Right.
he's not guilty. But why Detective L brings the chips at the at the last episode of the movie? Have you seen that? So when movies about to end, when they meet Detective L and Kira, Detective L has a bag of chips in his hands. So for me, it's like a signal.
I think it was a secret message that I know what you did, but I can't
Yeah.
prove it. Yeah, I don't. It wasn't coincidence.
No, it doesn't look like coincidence, right? It's definitely a clue, but it's a super secret, powerful organization, right? Do they need this formal proofs? I don't think so.
I don't. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, yeah, strange.
They're supposed to be the good guys.
I think that that my opinion that Detective L decided that Kira can be useful for this secret organization. So it's kind of act of defecting. We show you these chips, and now you work for us.
I think at the end, it's not clear, but I think his goal at the end was he couldn't prove this guy was Kira, but he knew he was, but he couldn't prove it. So he decided to have Kira join his team. I don't
Okay.
really understand why. So he could somehow catch the guy. I don't know.
Yeah, we have a saying in Russian, just like keep your friends close to you, but keep your enemies closer.
Closer. Yeah, exactly. I think that's what he was trying to do.
Sergey, question? Tell you.
Yes, I noticed a strange situation with Akira when he wrote the name in the potato chip bags in the left hand.
Yeah.
But I noticed this is the right hand, and I imagine when I could write the names in the left hand, it's impossible for me.
Yeah, especially with Japanese hieroglyphs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he is a talented guy. Maybe he was specially taught for that. I don't know. Okay, let me try to share some slides. We have a presentation. Today it's language related because it's made by Teacher Lee. Okay.
But I tried to kind of tell the story too.
Yeah. Okay. So can you see it?
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay, let's start. So how we do that? Just describe any slides. Teacher Lee, what do you think?
Well, this first one, I thought this slide was interesting. This picture shows both of them. Notice that one's in black and one's in white.
Yeah,
Generally, white is the good guys and black is the bad guys. Okay.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And in the middle between both of them, it says, I am justice. So the black guy, the bad guy, is saying, I am justice. And the good guy is also saying, I am justice. So which one of them is the just justice? One guy's killing criminals, which sounds like justice. The other guy's trying to stop the guy from killing criminals, which sounds like it's not justice. So it's an interesting conflict.
Right, I agree. Usually we define justice like something when you follow the rules. It's my opinion. When you
Right.
follow the law or something like this, not just killing everyone. We cannot say that Lynch judge is his name Lynch Tribunal maybe. No, teacher Lee, do you know that? It's when I forgot word for that. When citizens do the justice by themselves.
Vigilante. Yeah.
Vigilante. Yeah.
Vigilante. So the guy in black, Light, was a vigilante. He was doing the law himself illegally.
Yeah.
So you have what we call the letter of the law and the spirit of the law.
Right.
Light, the bad guy, was doing the spirit of the law. He was punishing the bad guys. The white guy, L, he was doing the letter of the law. You can't kill bad guys by yourself. So they were both enforcing different aspects of the law.
Yeah, interesting that Gerard also knows this word, lynching, and I know this too. It's yeah. But it's from America, right?
Yeah.
All good days. So another thing about these apples. Why this demon eats only apples? Who knows?
Yeah. And you might, I don't know if you remember, but one time when Light or Kira was taunting L, he said, did you know that death gods only eat apples?
Strange.
That was a taunt in one of his messages.
Very strange, yeah. Okay, but apple is a special fruit, right? We have it in the Bible. It's
the Bible, yeah. I don't know why. Maybe that's why they chose the apple.
Yeah. Okay, so Gerard, please, can you describe this picture, something about it? Your views, Gerard.
This is the Death Note book. You can see the skull on the top, in the middle of the book on the top, the logo. Okay, but I don't know whether that's the cover or that's inside the book.
I think it's inside the book because you open it up and the instructions are there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Decorative flourish, yes. Is it written in English? That's curious.
Yeah. A good point. Japanese movie written in English.
And Japanese god of that.
And the font is very strange. How would you call this font? Gothic or something?
Yes.
It looks a little gothic, yeah.
Gothic.
And we can see Apple again. So maybe Apple is a special symbol. We just don't understand it. Apple on the left side with on the poster. Okay, so book contain all these instructions, all this how-tos, all this guide, how to use it. It's very, very good.
So that was pretty cool.
Okay. So we have this list. Shiori, Watari. Watari looked very formal, right? Like from a Japanese corporation.
Like Batman's butler.
Yeah. Do you think that this movie is inspired by Batman or something? Because I see something common.
It might be. Kind of mysterious, fights crime, has a butler that does all his stuff for him, yeah.
Yeah, so there is this strange instruction. Okay. Jorgen, would you like to try to read?
Yeah.
Please.
This note will not take effect unless the writer has the person's face in their mind when writing his/her name. Therefore, people sharing the same name will not be affected.
Yeah, I think we had this question, right? And another second one?
If the cause of death is written within 40 seconds of writing the person's name, it will happen. But if the cause of death is not specified, the person will simply die of a heart attack.
Yeah, so method by default.
Method, That's good.
Okay, Sergey, can you continue, please? Gerard, sorry, do you have a
One
question?
question. Why Kira didn't use like heart attacks or strokes, those sort of deaths that wouldn't be impossible to detect? That's curious.
I don't think it mattered. Just the fact that they died was all he cared about, really.
So they didn't really care about being discovered at the beginning.
Well, I mean, he figured there was no way they could catch him. I think he was just confident.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's killing people all over the world, so
yeah,
and he's not even there. So
yeah, it's a good suggestion. You know, if you can kill anyone by just writing the name in your own flat without going everywhere, how they will code you? It's impossible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sergey, please, can you read the continuation?
After writing the cause of death, details of the death should be written in the next 6 minutes and 40 seconds. Even if you don't actually pause the death note, the effect will be the same if you can recognize the person and his/her name, the place, and the blank.
Wow.
Now, see that second one, that's how he killed the FBI agents. He couldn't see the faces, but the FBI agent saw the faces on his computer screen, and the FBI agent wrote the names in the death book page.
Mm-hmm.
So even though Kira didn't have the faces and the names, the FBI agent had a piece of the death book, and he had the faces and the names.
Yeah.
So when he wrote the names in the book, it had the same effect.
So Kira just delegated the work.
Yeah. Death by delegation. Yeah.
Vasant, please, something about this picture.
Okay, this is the moment when the god of death arrives to the earth and met Kira. The god of death has a weird crest of hair and feathery tufts on his shoulder, and belt and a chain. Yeah, and a weird smile on his face. And Light's coat is called a blazer. Okay.
Yeah. Tufts is a new word for me, really. I don't know.
Tuft, yeah. It's like a little feather. Birds, some birds on their head have a little feather that kind of sticks out.
Yeah,
We call that a tuft.
Nice.
So go ahead.
Please continue.
I say I thought the demon himself was kind of cool. He had a sense of humor.
Right.
And he was actually honest. I mean, he didn't lie to the guy. He said, you may experience agony and fear that only the user can appreciate, if you have guilt or something, but he would hang upside down on the ceiling. He would fly in the air. He would eat the apple. And he would make jokes. And when Kira killed when Kira said, "I'm going to kill the FBI guys," the demon said, "Hey, they're the good guys." So, the demon kind of played devil's advocate, if you will, a little bit. But I thought he was kind of a funny guy. So,
Yeah.
Oh, you even killed your girlfriend. Oh, that's cruel,
I like it the moment when he said, "I can say how long you will live if you pay me the half of that, right? So
That's right.
yes, Sergey, please.
I think about the demon. That the demon looks like the Joker from the Batman movies, and maybe this is a spatially moment. I don't know.
Yeah, we can think about it, but we don't know, this Japanese thing. Maybe Joker was inspired by Japanese. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? Yeah.
Vasant, please.
Yes, I like that part that the demon said that I'm not on your side, neither Yell's side. So the Kira could have used him to go there and see who is Yell and bring me some photographs of him, like that. He could have asked him, but it would not work because here the death of the god of death has certain rules, and he maintained that.
Yeah, so it looks like this death demon just just entertaining himself by all this situation.
And he was impartial. He said, if you don't want to use the book, give it to somebody else, and I'll make you forget. He didn't care who killed people as long as somebody killed people.
Okay, so disbelievingly, right? Nice word. So what we can say about this picture? So it's the Kira in his room, probably a lot of paper books, and he looked like a good guy. He likes to do all these exercises. He really care about justice. He want to be a good policeman. He follow his family like his father and so on. And it seems for me that his family is pretty solid and good. They love each other. So it's just a good guy. It's just a story how good guy changed by given power, right?
Yeah.
Nice.
He turned to the dark side.
Right, easily, no time. Okay, a lot of small details. Jörgen, would you like to read?
Yes, you can see a thumbnail, cuticle. It looks like he chews his nails, and pen tip, and paper.
Yeah, and choose his nails. What? It's a kind of a sign, a clue for us, yeah, right? That this guy is kind of nervous or something. We usually suggest this.
It's a nervous habit. I do it myself. I have no, it's just a nervous. It doesn't mean you're afraid or nervous, but it's just a nervous habit that some people do.
Yeah.
So when you see that the fingernail, the cuticle is longer than the nail, they're chewing the nails real short. It's a bad habit.
Yeah.
I have it.
Me too. Gerard, please.
Oh, okay. The internet is a buzz with criminals. Deaths worldwide. I didn't know this word, a buzz.
Bzz, a lot of activity, like bees. Bzz, a lot of activity. Very active. A buzz is very active.
So we can see people sitting in a small tables, maybe a Japanese internet cafe, but we can see all laptops. Okay, and we can read. Someone named Kira is taking credit for all the killing. Some followers think he is a hero. Others think he's a dangerous vigilante. That's the question. What I'm wondering many times: are there any vigilantes in America, or only in comic books?
We have had vigilantes before. Usually, a lot of times, it's in New York City on the subway. Sometimes there's criminals on the subway, and once in a while, somebody will start killing bad guys that make trouble on the subway. And the New Yorkers think he's a hero. and they'll cheer and say he's a hero, but the police have to try to catch him. So they'll come up with names like the Subway Vigilante. But we have had occasional vigilantes in America. If you remember our Star Trek movie when Spock was on the bus with the hippie with the loud music and Spock made the guy go unconscious, that was kind of a vigilante act. And everybody on the bus clapped, remember?
Yes.
So that was kind of a vigilante kind of thing. You take out the bad guy and the other people appreciate it. Thank you.
So where is the limit? Where is the smallest thing when you can call yourself like vigilante? I just saw, for instance, my neighborhood, someone littering, throwing the trash, and I I go into the situation and make them to to clear the trash. Am I vigilante already or not?
Now, I'll mention to you that if you've never seen a movie series called Death Wish, Death Wish is an old movie that came out, 40 years ago. Charles Bronson was the actor, and he was an ordinary man like you or me, and his wife and daughter got raped while he was away from home, and he became a vigilante. And he was wanting to hunt down the bad guys and kill them. And that movie series, Death Wish 1, 2, 3, 4, is about him. He becomes a famous vigilante, and the police are always trying to capture him. Okay. So you might enjoy that series if you like vigilantes.
Well, the title of these movies in Spanish were translated as I Am Justice, as I Am Justice.
Oh, is that right? Okay. And yes. Now we know why. Okay.
Okay. Sergey, please, it's for you.
Okay. Sorry. A prisoner mysteriously dies in his small jail cell. This is a small room in the prison. With the prisoners, and I can see the toilet rack hanging there, and 4 toilet, and porcelain sink, and the guard watching through an observation window for policemen, and small table for eating, and this man dies from her death with frozen or foaming on the moss. It's not good.
And we can predict that it's kind of, we can suggest that it's kind of Asian jail, right? We don't have, we cannot see chair and table. It's very low.
Yeah,
very primitive. Yeah. Looks like he's got a book. He's got a magazine.
No TV, no TV, no PlayStation. What kind of jail is it?
What a horrible place! Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Okay, Vasant, please.
Okay, this is Light's house, and his mom and his sister, I think, they were. And they were talking with each other, and she was wearing a blazer, and there was a sofa with a plant and sloping ceiling and cabinets for things in kitchen, to store things in kitchen, and microwave oven, and she was wearing a knee socks and a pleated skirt, and yeah, I think that's it. Okay. There's a stool and island.
So planter is kind of a device for plants, right?
It's usually a large container for plants, usually inside, but they can be outside.
Mm-hmm. Jörgen, please, question, Tolkien.
Yeah, what is island?
Yeah, good question.
It's when you have some kitchens, especially in America, you don't have enough counter space against the wall. So they'll give you an extra countertop in the middle of the floor. So we call that countertop in the middle of the floor an island because you can walk around it.
Right. It was popular in our place too.
Is it so? A kitchen island,
Yeah.
you might want to call it. Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of table, right? But it's usually more high, right?
Right. In her case, they have a sink. The island has a sink there, and usually the island has stools on the outside, so you can sit there and talk to the wife while she's cooking or doing something.
But I never met this word island. Never saw this word.
Yes, that's what we call it, kitchen island.
Kitchen island. Nice. And plated skirt, it's about color or about form? About what?
No, the color, the pattern would be called plaid, which is kind of a Scottish pattern. But the pleats means it has vertical creases.
Okay, creases.
Vertical folds.
Okay.
Men's pants, you can buy pleated men's pants. I don't like them. But in the front, there are vertical folds that, to me, it looks like a woman's pants.
Gerard?
I think this island is not really an island. It's an archipelago because, one side is together with the wall.
A good point. Okay, we'd call it a peninsula, like Florida.
No, like a peninsula. Yes, that's the word. Like a Spain. Spain is a peninsula.
So
good point. You're correct.
Kitchen peninsula. Okay. Okay. But it has a sink, so it's like a sea inside. It's more complicated.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I always consider this school form, Japanese school form, like something strange, for
they
my
love
taste.
uniforms. Yeah.
Yeah.
Love uniforms.
Okay, something else. We have a few times, so I'm thinking what to.
That's fine. That's fine.
What to see better? What we have? Okay, this thing. About the trick, right? The teacher Lee described us how to know this name, how to know the name of agent. So Kira decided to make a dangerous situation just to make this FBI agent draw himself. Can we say draw, teacher Lee?
Draw
him out.
Draw him out. Okay, so
to
draw him out.
reveal his name. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So government seal and what else? Well, special agent can carry a gun. So this title, special agent, make you like what's the name was?
It means you're authorized to carry a gun. Yeah.
Yeah, 2 lead zeros, right? If you have 2 lead zeros, you can kill people.
Exactly, British. Yeah.
Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, right?
We call it FBI.
FBI. Okay. Okay. Nice. What else? Wow, a lot of things. Jorgen, please, can you read this?
In the ceiling, you can see recessed lights, and on the wall on the right there is some abstract art, and the FBI agent has a name tag on his.
Well, that's the Japanese guy. He's the chief. He's Kira's father.
Yes.
Okay.
And
that's his boss.
Yeah. And the table is a phone and a desk lamp.
Yeah, what is interesting is that it's white gloves, right? Why people wear that?
I don't know. That struck me as odd. Is that a symbol of rank?
I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, well, I have to find out. I don't know.
But I watched a few situations in American movies when soldiers with a special uniform, especially when they receive a body of another soldier or something like that, they wear. Right. It's like a symbol of something. But of what? Of respect? I don't know.
Just a part of the uniform, yeah.
As far as I know, Russian officers, they have gloves like a part of their uniform too. So we have white gloves and we use them on parades only. So not for every day, but for celebration.
Right, kind of a dress uniform. So maybe when he receives guests, he puts on his gloves. I don't know.
Yeah. What about Big Wig? It's a boss, right?
Big wig, yep, big wig.
But why
VIP, yeah.
Why it's so funny? Why wig?
Well, the British court used to wear